What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On this week's video, I'm bringing you a new level of entertainment, if you will, and going to be demonstrating some form and techniques for shooting high angle shots, especially out of a tree stand, and how you can implement some of the form techniques that I go over in my other videos into these difficult shots like this, especially close inside of 10 yards from 8 to 10 feet up. So stick around and enjoy the content. So, like I said, everything that I'm going to tell you is greatly exaggerated whenever it comes to the close shots like this. And as traditional bow hunters, we're kind of faced with a dilemma. One, we're bow hunting, and our hope is that the deer come in close enough that we can get a shot and be able to make an accurate shot and have less likelihood of things going wrong, right? But with that is also getting out of the deer's sight. So there's that healthy balance of being high enough off the ground to be out of their line of sight. But as you get higher off the ground, you start to have that steeper shot angle, which is tough, especially with traditional archery equipment, which I'm going to go over why. Some of the reasons are that it's so tough. And your kill zone is getting smaller because of that high angle shot as well. And so that's why I set up this Delta McKenzie buck here at about 5 yards from the tree. I'm only about not quite 8 feet off the ground right now. Normally I like to hunt from around 12 feet. I've found 10 to 12 feet at the platform. So your basic ladder style stand, the height that puts you off the ground, that's about where I like to be at. And I've noticed that that's kind of my sweet spot, and it allows me to still get away with movement if I need to when deer are in close and not bring a lot of attention to myself. But as I touched on a second ago, with traditional archery equipment, we're trying to get close, right? Probably closer than normal. You know, this would be a dream shot, right? 5 yards, basically right under the tree. What can really go wrong? Well, the steeper the angle, especially whenever it comes to these traditional bows, you're going to start having some problems as far as bottoming out and what you're able to get to keep good form, but to lean forward and deal with that high angle shot because one, we're using longer bows, so you run the risk of your bow limb coming back around and touching your stand or your tree. But also, whenever you're using a clicker, it becomes very evident. But for those of you who are pretty seasoned, who know what your full draw and your anchor feels like, whenever you're shooting a high angle shot like this, you draw back and get to anchor, and you're actually short drawing, believe it or not. And the clicker tells me that a lot. I find myself just doing what I feel is normal in my shot process on flat ground or reasonably flat ground, and I've got a lot longer way to go to get back to that clicker in order to pull through my shot. It can be deceiving as far as you thinking that everything is going to transfer from flat ground to the high angle shots. And as high angle, I mean shooting down, not so much shooting up. So that's what I want to demonstrate here, some helpful tips and tricks of what I do with my tree stand shooting. So whenever I'm hunting, I spend a tremendous amount of time, whether I'm in a stand like this or in a ladder stand with my seat flipped up and back against the tree. I stand up a lot whenever I hunt, just because I like to be in that ready position, you know, with my bow hanging right next to me to where I can just grab it off and go to work. But in this situation, I've got going ahead and flip my seat back. So this is a really close shot. This is honestly a closer shot than I would even personally like, but at 5 yards, and that target's leaning back a little bit, so it's not necessarily accurate to the kill zone that you would have. But basically, as I've talked about in the past, whenever it comes to how you shoot as far as canting your bow, whatever your bow is doing, period, your torso from your hips, your middle of your body, you know, like your core, your chest, whatever your bow is doing, you need to follow suit. So if you're shooting down, if your bow is pointing down like this, you need to bend at the hips and shoot down with your bow, not just stand up straight, right? If you're shooting up, it's the same way. If you're having to really lean over, then you need to really lean over or lean back, whatever. So that's where what gets a lot of us is we want so bad to just stand up straight and pull that bow back, but you can't. You have to lean into that shot. I find myself, what helps a lot is to just drop this knee, bend this knee down towards the animal or in the direction you're shooting. Orientate your feet best you can, and then just drop that knee. That'll kind of help pitch that shot or your body forward to help with some of that hip bending that you're having to do. And then once you've done that, then bend at the hips. So kind of a knee drop and hip bend to put yourself in line. I've noticed with a long bow like this, it helps a lot more. And then I'm just going to go through my process like I normally would. So it's really different. It's a big change from shooting on flat ground, and that's why I think it takes a lot of practice. And if you can get used to shooting like this, well, those flat ground and ground blind shots are going to seem easy, but I really think people don't practice this enough. I know over the years I haven't always been very good about practicing it and an adequate amount to where I feel extremely comfortable when season comes, but I try to do it enough that it's not unfamiliar, if you will. You know, it's even if that means taking practice shots out of my tree stand when I'm in the woods. I take a blunt arrow with me or something like that and pick a leaf or something somewhere throughout the hunt and shoot at it, and that kind of brings me into the zone of the conditions of where I'm at and what it feels like to take a shot in that particular stand. So that's something that you could do as well. If things are slow, just pick a leaf and take a practice shot. Implement that form, the leaning with your bow, bending from the hips. And like I said, with these long bows like this, I found that, or even a compound, dropping that front knee a little bit and then bending from your hips or from your torso, it helps you get you there a lot more than standing up straight and just trying to do it all from your hips. You know, just kind of bend that knee and bend from the hips. It's a lot more comfortable way to shoot. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you learned something from it. With this nice spring weather, it's a good time to be getting out and doing a little bit of shooting. And even though we're months and months from season, this is something that's really good to practice. This kind of goes along with those long distance shots. If you get used to shooting long distance, then the close ones seem easy. Same thing with a tree stand. If you get used to shooting at a tree stand, everything else is going to seem pretty doable. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out this week's video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. And get out and shoot straight, guys. I'll catch you next time.